Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Pisces in May 2019. Hello, Pisces. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Alright, Pisces, that's your main spread there. Shuffle it off camera to save time. Shuffle now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. You can look in the description box below if you want to click on the timestamp to jump to that point. I don't blame you. It's what it's there for. Also down there is the information you will need if you want to get a personal reading with me. And like I've been saying for the past month and a half or so, if you have been thinking about it and you haven't really decided and you've been kind of going back and forth in your mind, I would say book that reading ASAP, because come June, the price will go up. I'll be introducing two new and different types of readings that I do for the channel. So that kind of offsets the price raise for the main or the most in-depth reading that I do. So if you want to save yourself a little bit of money, I would say book it at the price it's set for now. Otherwise, come June and beyond, that price will be higher. Okay? All right, Pisces, let's get into it. Okay, let's get you an outcome for May, please. Pisces outcome in May 2019. Let me see the outcome for Pisces in May 2019. Am I gonna pick this one? Ooh, no, I'm not. There it is. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Alright, had most of these come face down, so let's pull a Vanna White up in here and let's see what's going on. Oh my gosh. So many majors. I was very sloppy when I flipped them over, so I have to try and readjust the board. Looks pretty okay, so let's go with it. All right, please show me Pisces in May 2019. Please show me Pisces in May 2019. Please show me. Okay, thank you. Whew, we got there. That was a little tricky. All right, guys. Coming into May, come in with the Emperor card reverse. Show you this card upright so you can become used to it. I'm a little tongue-tied. I've had a long day at work. Well, not long, just tiring day at work. I have done readings before this, so I'm apologizing now for all the mumbled words that are going to come out of my mouth. All right, so this card upright, card of Aries, might be dealing with an Aries, but you don't have to. For being that it's the start for you and it's in the reverse, Pisces, I feel you're slightly volatile right now, irritable, irritated, okay? As agitated as you can be, which in my experience is there's a cap to Pisces, and then there's actually a cap beyond that initial cap. There are certain levels to how annoyed a Pisces can be. Sort of emergency levels, like code yellow, code orange, code red. I feel you're in the yellow, maybe almost to orange bracket, okay? You're not code red. So if you're cross-watching for a Pisces, they're okay. It's not about to be bloodshed or anything like that. But it is highly agitated energy, I feel. Or if you're not highly agitated, your fuse is so much shorter. You're quicker to react. You're quicker to bite back, Pisces. You're quicker to have something to say, and it's not the nicest thing you've said to this person or in this situation before. So basically, taking no prisoners also is kind of what the Emperor is about in reverse, being almost tyrannical. And I'm not saying that to be accusatory. I'm not saying that to blame you or to to make you out to be a monster, but it really is like this cutthroat, take no prisoners energy when you get this Emperor in reverse. So some of you have been working on something diligently for a while, and maybe it hasn't paid off, or maybe it's gone on longer than it needs to. Maybe you've been working on a project with deadlines. You're just like, you've had enough. And so you begin to demand so much more of yourself and so much more of your teammates or your coworkers or whatever. And there's this, excuse me, there's this kick it into overdrive kind of feel where no matter what, you will get the job done. And it's not like, it's to the expense of your health, to your sleep, to your diet. Like, a lot of you are sacrificing or you're not making choices for the better of your physical health or your mental health or your body's rest. You're really burning the candle at both ends, okay? And this obviously won't last, because the Pisces could not live like that all the time. So thank God for that. But it is proving to be sort of hard for both you and other people to deal with. You are irritating yourself, or you're frustrated with yourself, or you're frustrated with how long you're in this mood, okay? And so that's where maybe you're being snippy and irritable when it comes to other people. Like, you know you're not yourself. You know you're out of sorts. You know things are a little demanding in your life right now. And then if someone says something that's a little bit off to you, you might take their head off. You might not insult them, but you might, tell them where to shove it. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's just something I feel that some of you will or might want to consider, like, apologizing for it later. But I'm not really feeling, like, as harsh as this energy can be for you to deliver it and possess it, and for other people to receive it, I just don't feel it's lasting long. So, like, there's sort of the silver lining here. Again, a Pisces is not going to live this way for a long time. It would just drive them mad. They would feel awful, guilty, all kinds of feelings. So that's good. Now, yeah, something in the situation calls for you to do it. You're feeling really inspired, like a call to action, but it's circumstantial. So if there's crunch time, like I said, at work, deadlines, under the gun, for whatever reason, you're being big bad Pisces right now because there's no other choice, it feels like, for many of you. For others, where this isn't in your business world, this isn't about your job, this is you putting your foot down and in a different way than you ever have before. Before now, maybe you compromised. Before now, maybe you allowed someone to move from your good list to your bad list and then back and forth. And, you've allowed people sort of, you've given people allowances with you. You've given people second chances, third chances, fourth chances, whatever. And that's commendable. We need people like that in this world, because some people are too hardline, and like once you screw up, they never forgive you. They never forget it. So I don't want you to feel like you're being foolish by allowing people to come back into your life or giving them a helping hand more than once, But there's something about this time around where there's a line that's been crossed and you're not here for it. Right, okay, yeah. So you're not here for it. Strength card right beneath your starting position, major arcana card for Leo. So you might have a Leo in your life of significance, but you don't have to. So someone has crossed the line and it's really gotten under your skin. It's really aggravated you, right? Or things at work have gone far beyond the limits of what's tolerable or what is desirable in terms of workplace environment, in terms of workload, and you're through the roof. Again, code yellow, pushing up to a code orange in some cases. It's not code red. You know what code red is to you, Pisces. I don't think I've even seen a code red on a Pisces. I think I've only ever seen code orange. I could be wrong. And I know a few Pisces. So God help anybody who has ever seen a Pisces in code red. So anyway, the level of just fierce, like strong, intense, passionate reaction and response that you're giving to whatever situation you're dealing with, it brings this side out of you, this conqueror side. These two together are very bombastic. The Emperor in reverse and the Strength card. You're like I think I said this to you a month or two ago, bossy pants. I think I said that in like the title of one of your videos. I guess that's still going on, or it's reaching a crescendo point, or it is reaching some kind of peak for you, because that's what I feel. I feel that you're taking no prisoners, you're taking nobody's shit, and whenever people cross you, you're going to be like, oh, you just crossed me. Let's go back and rectify that situation because I'm not having it, not today, not tomorrow, not the next day. You know, like you're really asserting yourself. And I like it, even if it feels uncomfortable to you. And I'm not saying you should go with whatever feels uncomfortable to you, but I just really feel this is necessary. Even if it's hard for you to perform this way or express yourself this way, even if it's hard for people to receive that energy and that input from you, I think it's setting a new precedence in your life. It's letting people know this is definitively where Pisces draws the line. When you cross this line, this is what you get from me. I'm not some soft touch around here. I'm not some pushover around here. You think I'm some type of inept whatever, so-and-so, but let me tell you, sir or madam or whoever, that's not the deal. Here's the real deal. I'm a kind-hearted person. I do well for others. I do well for myself. I want to be nice, but when you push me, this is what you get. And this could be in work. When we don't follow the rules or when we don't make the deadlines, this is what we have to do. So here you go, Barbara. Everybody's working overtime, mandatory. And Barbara's like, I need to go home. I got da, da, da. And it's just like, no, Barbara, no. See, when you were out there on your smoke break and you were doing chit chat down in the cafeteria and you were doing this, that, and the other and not getting shit done in here where you're supposed to be, this is why we do mandatory overtime. Like some of you are putting the hammer down on people and they don't like it. I have to tell you, if you're cross-watching for Pisces, number one, respect what Pisces is saying, number one. But number two, also kind of thank your lucky stars, because Pisces, even when they're angry, they don't want to be angry with you. They don't want to have to hammer down on you or discipline you. If this is a child and parent situation, if you got a parent Pisces and they're like grounding you, take it. Because in some other households, it's more than a grounding. It's a grounding and a beating. You know what I mean? Like, somebody, whoever's cross-watching for Pisces on, I don't know how many cross-watchers I have, but if you're here cross-watching for Pisces, I think you need to be a little bit more grateful towards them, because their worst is not the worst you could experience in this world. Like, sure, everybody's different. Not all Pisces are angels. Nobody is an angel anyway. There are some Pisces out there that are totally intolerable and totally awful. Okay, fine. But in my experience, most of the time, they're actually very tolerant people. They're very copacetic. They want to get along. They want to make amends. They don't want to have to be the bad guy. So when they are the bad guy, it's like, you got to realize they've hit a certain threshold. And you kind of have to say, yep, you know what? I understand. Pisces, I get you. You know, if you're Barbara and you've been out on smoke breaks and chit-chatting down in the cafeteria, own it. Take the mandatory overtime. Stop talking so much on your breaks, okay? Or, you know, overextending your breaks. You see what I mean? So, exactly. So here you are over here being a hard-ass Pisces. Yeah. It's like, you don't want to be the bad cop, but there's no other bad cop around. Whoever is the normal bad cop in your situation, in your life, they're like on vacation or something. Like they're not around. So you have to be the bad guy. Okay? So in being the bad guy, it kind of sucks. it kind of makes you judge yourself. Or, here and here, what is it? Okay, thank you. So, as the bad guy, behind all that tough talk, behind all that, hammer throwing that you're doing, the little natural self is there. Page of Cups, right? Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, right? And if it's not you, this is like a child in your midst. I don't have children in my life, but they've been coming up in these cards. And I don't normally associate the pages with children, but it's been thematic for the past month or so. So some of you have a child around, that's of significance. But more so it's about the true essence of yourself, which is the sensitive, very cute, curious little whippersnapper part of yourself. Where, Pisces, you're one of the children of the Zodiac, and you view the world, you view your experience from the perspective of someone who, is still learning, is never fully formed. And that might be a little like off-putting to some of you, but take it, because what I mean is you're never so solidified or so grown up as to lose your curiosity, to lose your wonderment, to lose your awe or your ability to be struck with excitement and exhilaration over what might be so benign or so basic to somebody else. Like Pisces, some of your qualities, like you could go to a cafe and order a latte, and something about the way the barista made the coffee today, it knocks your socks off. You take a picture of the Starbucks cup and you post it on Instagram. Started my day off with a pep in my step. Like you get joy out of the little things. And that is a very wonderful quality to have, because a lot of people don't have it. I struggle with that shit for sure. The little things, I'm like, yeah, the coffee should be good. I paid for it. That would be me on some days. Some days I'm like, oh my God, the coffee is so good. But other days I'm just like, it should be good. I paid $15 for this. I'm not literally paying $15 for coffee, but some people do, like multiple cups, yeah? But you see, like, I'm in some ways, personally, a little too grown up sometimes. Pisces, you are like a Peter Pan, like you never grow up, but you're still magical. You're still very fun, you know what I mean? And it's like that. So being this hard ass over here with that Emperor and that Strength card together, having to throw your weight around, having to tell people, what the business is, be bossy pants, right? Even still, behind all of that action, all of that talk, all of that whatever you're doing, there's a little Pisces inside, like really thrilled about, oh my God, today's ice cream day at work. And, like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to get a banana split. Like there's a, and maybe if it's not in you, like I said, for some of you, you have a child or you work with children. Maybe that's your work. You work with kids as a teacher or something like that, a counselor, something. And like they keep you in touch with that part of yourself. You're able to see the world through their eyes. So there's some connection with childlike energy, either in the body of a small human being or in yourself. And that is still behind all this hard exterior that you're putting forth, or this very assertive exterior that you're pushing forward. Now, the shitty thing about that is, because you have to be so hardcore to get the job done, to push the project forward, to keep people in line, whatever you're doing, or to, some of you are like drawing lines in the sand and like you're raising the stakes, or you're raising the level of expectations with your family or with your friends, however you're having to assert yourself, it also takes away some of your passion, some of your drive. It's tiring. There it is. It's tiring. And I can understand that from a Pisces perspective. I know a couple Pisces. I know what you guys do. So your energy is being thrown out of you, pulled out of you, like in heaps, having to be on top of whoever at work, having to let your roommates know, stop eating my fucking ramen noodles. I pay for those with my own money. If you want them yourself, they're cheap. You go get, like whatever you're doing, that makes you tired. It makes you feel like a dick. Okay. And again, like, I feel like there's this lack of, not lack of, but it's a rocky, it's not a smooth accessibility to this Ace of Wands energy. I didn't even show you it upright. My bad. Ace of Wands. And did I even announce it? I think I might have just picked it up and didn't say anything. But you have it in reverse, Ace of Wands. So, where, let's say you work with kids in the school district, or you teach, and maybe your school is underfunded, or as it's towards the end of the year, maybe, your principal is on your back. I need grades. I need to make sure the test scores are this. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. And you're like wanting to freaking explode. Or, you're going to whatever meetings you might have towards the end of the year as you prep for the summer courses, or you prep for fall, and your administrators are down your guys' throat, and you like kind of have to, put your hand down on the desk. Mr. Johnson, I can't believe blah, 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 and you go off on this tangent. When you do that, you stand up for the principle, using the word principle again, but when you stand up for the principle of the thing, or you insist on some type of decorum, or you insist on some type of better treatment for yourself, for your coworkers, for your staff, for yourself, again, roommate with the ramen noodles, don't touch my shit, whatever, whenever you're making a claim and declaring what needs to be done going further down the line or into the future, some of you worry that that's the wrong thing to do, because the aces represent opportunities. They represent like the seedlings that we plant going forward. Here, I think you might be thinking, did I make the right move by saying that? Did I make the right move by insisting upon such and such from my boss? It is ramen noodles. They're really cheap. And I know my roommate has been struggling. Like, is it really a big deal if he ate a package of my ramen noodles? The principle of the thing says, yes, it's a big deal. But part of you is just like, I could have gone about that a little bit differently. I don't know that it was the most effective way to get that message across. In addition to that, I always do this, gosh. In addition to doing that, for those where you have a child at home, or there's a child of significance close to you that you spend time with, either your own child or like a cousin, or, maybe you babysit or something, or you volunteer with kids, I don't know. You're so busy being a hammer over here, right? It takes away your energy, because also wands represent energy and vitality. It takes away your energy, which I already said, you are tired. And therefore you're not able to spend as much time, or the time that you spend with the Page of Cups, the child of significance in your life, it's minimized, or you're not as fun to be around from the kids' eyes maybe, and you're just not able to give your all to them. So for those where it's mandatory overtime at work, and you're the supervisor or the manager on shift, and because Barbara and her friends want to yak it up in the cafeteria, now we got to go into overtime, and now I have to call my sister to go pick up my kids from daycare because I got to stay here extra hours because of Barbara's punk ass. Something like that. You literally cannot find the time to be with your child. You literally don't have the energy to come home and play with them. You humor them for a second. You pop some chicken nuggets in the microwave. Here's your dinner, baby. Go ahead and eat it so I can give you a bath, and then we're both going to bed. It's like that. It's like, I only have time for the basics. I only have time for these basic needs for my kid. I can't come home and we play with each other and all that kind of stuff. So Bossy Pants Pisces is also feeling upset that not only do I have to deal with whatever is upsetting me initially, having to put the hammer down on people. Now my relationship with my kid, or the relationship with some child that is significant to me, or my own inner child, is suffering. If you don't have any kids and you want to come home and, you know, I'm not going to say it that way, but you want to come home and spend time with yourself, unpack, unload from the day, decompress, but you can't. You come home, you take a shower, you get right into bed. You don't even eat your freaking chicken nuggets or your Hot Pocket or, you know, your Hungry Man for one, whatever the hell you eat. I don't know. You're neglecting yourself while you have to show up and be in charge or demand and insist upon different treatment. If it's a roommate situation, now that you've insisted don't eat my goddamn ramen noodles, now there's tension between you and your roommate. You guys used to hang out after work or when you got home and you would play video games together. You guys would talk. You guys would shoot the shit. You were planning to go see Endgame together. And now all of a sudden, distance. Okay? So there is an effect of an outcome from this new, bolder, for lack of a better word, harsher version of Pisces. And you're like, oh no, did I do the right thing? Have I been too harsh? I'm still saying yes, because I feel the integrity, your boundaries were tested. So when integrity and boundaries are tested, even if it upsets other people, I think you got to stick to your guns. But you might feel differently. I don't know. So now we have this unfortunate circumstance with the kid, your inner child, the tension between you and your roommate, whatever. Sorry, I had something there on my table. I didn't like that. Yep. Yes, thank you. 8 of Wands in reverse. Show you this upright. You can get used to it. So obviously there's some bewitched overtones with this card. Every time I go to like hum the theme song, I always hum the theme song of I Dream of Jeannie. So that shows you what I used to watch when I was a kid, when it was on reruns, right? So I don't know the theme, but you know, that might mean something to some of you. Some of you might be huge fans of that show. Some of you might be witches in your practices, but they're really, really wanting me to underline witch. Okay, so maybe some of you work with a witch. Maybe some people at your job think you're a witch, as in a B-I-T-C-H. I don't know why I spelled it, a bitch. I've cursed like so much in this video already. So all that aside, with that 8 of Wands in reverse, this is confirming that if you look at it, because that often speaks to me, the triangles, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Strength, Ace of Wands reversed, and then the 8 of Wands reversed. You being so strong, you being so in your ownership, in your power, oh my God. In your power here, you feel like opportunities aren't coming, your energy is drained, you're not as passionate about something, or your passion is diverted, it's on hiatus. And then you have this card over here where you question your methods or your use of communication. Again, was I too harsh? When you send an email, like after you meet with your superintendent and your principal, and maybe you're like you're like the liaison for the teachers union or something like that. Now that you've worded that email and it was so strong, and then you got back a very vague or even passive-aggressive email in response, you're like, oh God, did I say something wrong? Should I not have used that word? You know, something like that. You're really, 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 really critiquing the way that you're communicating towards other people. Tying this back to the witch thing, okay? Right, again with that as the motif, as the illustration there. Some of you are hoping, I mean, that's what you do with any communication. You hope to kind of persuade people or get people on side, right? But some of you are like deliberately manipulating communication. Like you're composing something, then you go back and you edit it. Then you wait on it for a couple hours. You go back, you look at it again. Like you want the wording to be so perfect. And now that you've released the message, the text, the email, whatever, you then wonder, well, damn, maybe I shouldn't have sent it at all. Or your whatever response you get or don't get you then have a negative connotation with it. You have a negative impression with it, even though it might not be. So you may have strongly worded something to your boss or to your higher ups as the liaison for the union, right? And then you get a response and you're like, oh, this is bad news. And then you show it to somebody else, one of your colleagues, and they're like, no, this is okay, this is fine. And you're like, are you sure? So there's a doubtfulness, right? There's a doubtfulness with what you're communicating, how you're communicating, and the communication that you're getting back. You doubt. You're skeptical or trepidatious about your own ability to be a sound communicator, somebody who can persuade other people on side or get people to understand what needs to be done. And again, stop eating my ramen noodles, man. Oh man, that was really hard. Maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. And you're like, oh, I hope he understands. And then, you know, you come home 2 days later and you see a new package of ramen noodles with like a note on it that says like, sorry. Now, to me, if that was me, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So he's like really apologizing. He's making it up to me. He's replaced the ramen that he ate. Cool. We're cool. Some Pisces will see that sorry and think it's a passive aggressive, like a snarky, sarcastic sorry, like a sorry. Like he is not really apologizing and he's giving you these ramens just to like appease you, as like not a real attempt to make amends for what he did. You see what I mean? So there's, there we go, overthinking, yeah, overanalyzing, too much, all right? Above that, here we go, got the Devil card, Major Arcana for Capricorn, so you might have a Capricorn in your life of significance, but you know the rules, you don't have to. So there's the doubt, all right? There's the, can I be sure I'm doing the right thing? Because the devil is a trickster. The devil is a lie, they say, yeah? And, oh, duh, in the corners, right? Speaking to each other, devil and the strength card, we got an internal battle here. Maybe you've got the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder, and you're like going in between what you should do going forward, or are you being too hard? Are you being too strict? Should you lighten up? And the devil is like, no, you should, you know, whatever. So there's this need, not a need to find balance per se, but I think what you need to do, because the strength card combats the devil. Because the strength card is about facing your fears, facing adversity, and triumphing, okay? The devil, in some instances, not always, because all cards have positive things in them. Like sometimes the strength card is like overcompensating, like strong-arming, okay? That's not what I'm getting. But just to illustrate, the strength card isn't like some beacon of hope, and the devil card is the worst thing in the tarot. Absolutely not. There are good qualities to the devil card, but right now, this is more about keeping you in this mindset that you should not, or you are out of your depth when it comes to what you have to do over here. Granted, the devil is pointing out all these things surrounding it, and you're like, well, of course I'm doing it wrong. Look at this, look at that, look at the other thing. I'm not necessarily feeling that, because like I said before, I feel a boundary has been crossed. I feel your integrity. I feel that in some of your cases, sort of your good name, you know, what is that called? Your, oh God, not integrity, but like in a business sense, like your, the word escapes me, and I told you before I was a little mushy in the brain anyway. But like your image, like the way you're perceived, is being tainted, or you're being taken for granted. People are playing you for a fool. And because those are the stakes, because that is the line that people are crossing with you, that is the limit that people are trying to test with you, I feel in this reading, Pisces, you are right to lay the hammer down. but something in you or a person outside of you, maybe a manipulator, doesn't have to be a Cancer, or excuse me, a Capricorn, but somebody outside of you potentially is saying, well, you know, I think you're being a little too harsh. Could be your husband or your wife back home. You know, you're working all these long hours, making up for Barbara's stupid mistakes, doing this overtime, and your spouse is like, do you really have to do that? Why didn't somebody else do that? Somebody else could take care of it. I told you never to be, you know, the union liaison. I told you not to take that supervisor job, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, am I wrong? You're like sitting here in your mind. Am I crazy? Did I do something wrong here? No. But the devil in somebody else's body, they're channeling that energy, or within yourself, you're having this dialogue that says, well, you're tired as fuck. Your kid misses you. And over here, you that passive aggressive email you got back from the superintendent is totally signs that they're going to try and fire you soon after this situation is complete. So you're like in your head convincing yourself, I'm doing the wrong thing. Pisces, I feel really strongly that you're not. In the moment, it's trying, tired, not really having a great connection with your kid or with, you know, kids that you're helping and supporting, right? And you feel the communication is not going correctly. Pace yourself, calm yourself, look at the bigger picture, okay? That's the other thing about the devil. Small scope. Keeps you fixated on the here and now. Keeps you fixated on the small details and overthinking those small details. That's the trick of the devil. Don't fall for the trick. Man. Yeah. Yep. My gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can give you from that, but that's really it. I mean, if anything more, for some of you, the devil can be like, not a vice, but a behavior that you often fall back on. A pattern. Thank you. A pattern. Where when you stand up for yourself, however often that happens, part of you wants to make yourself small again. Part of you wants to convince yourself your voice is not big enough. Your impact is not big enough. Who are you to tell other people how to do X, Y, Z? Or who are you? You know, like there's this part of you that feels you're not worthy of better treatment. That you're not worthy of some type of involvement in trying to better a situation or rectify a situation. Leave it to someone else. It's somebody else's problem. Let's just stay quiet and in the back. Let's just be a wallflower. So there's some of you that have a really sharp, very stinging self-dialogue that is super defeatist. And if you look at it that way, that gives you poor communication with yourself, with other people. It gives you no type of agency, no type of independent thought that you can project out. It keeps you quiet and mousy, right? Others of you, or the other part of it is that also keeps you from new opportunities. You know, supervisor, now that you have taken on this higher position, this new set of responsibilities, part of you is thinking you shouldn't have done it. You're small, you're a tiny fish in a big pond. You need to go back to the small pond. Like you're trying to figure out an escape route. And I'm telling you, don't do that. That's stupid. Don't do that. All right. Outcome for you Pisces for May. 6 of Cups. So, very different from the traditional interpretation of this card. I'm not feeling that whole, soulmate, because there's nobody else really here except for like that, snarky spouse and Barbara and her, gossiping. There's really nobody else here. Most of this concerns you, maybe the child a little bit. But so nostalgia, not really. The childhood, not really. And the soulmate, which is typically associated with this card, I'm not really feeling it. I'm really, number one, loving. Like, this is giving me, for some reason, and maybe that's the nostalgia, because I did mention Bewitched here, and I'm about to tell you, like, this reminds me of, like, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz a little bit, like the red shoes there. I mean, they're not shining like rubies, but they are red. And she's dressed up like a farm girl almost. So maybe some of you are like, you know, coming home, putting on TV Land, putting the DVD of Wizard of Oz in the player, and you're going to bed like watching or listening to your favorite shows from when you were growing up to kind of ease your mind and detox your body. Something like, or detox your body, but detox your mind from the day's work, right? Something like that. So maybe that's the nostalgic part with the Six of Cups here, that you are relying on rituals or pleasures from when you were a child, your favorite TV shows. You know, maybe some of you grew up eating Hot Pockets and you haven't had one in over 15 years, but then when you're in the market, you're like, you know, I'm just going to get some Hot Pockets. I want a Hot Pocket. You know, it's just like you're giving yourself the joys from when you were younger, like the ramen noodle thing maybe, to kind of appease all the stress that you're under, okay? Outside of that, I think you would be looking forward to, like most Pisces, when is this over? A lot of Pisces I know, in different circumstances, are always looking for the end of the circumstance, the end of the situation, the end of the conversation, the end of the night. Let's go to bed. The end of the workday. I want to go home. The end, the end, the end, the end, the end. So I think you're looking forward to the end of this situation, the end of this stress, the end of your involvement in these meetings or in this, you know, mandatory overtime for like 2-3 weeks to make up for somebody's stupid mistake or somebody underperforming, something like that. You can't wait for that shit to be done. And if you think about it, you know, that makes sense. You know, you've ruled the 12th house. You're all about endings. You guys love to enjoy the moment. But then when the moment starts to wane, you're like, okay, let's move on now. Let's get to the next thing. Mutable sign also, like that just speaks to the core of who you are, all of your archetypes, yeah? So, and the moon obviously is a big feature here. So I'm not up on the moon cycles of what's going on in the month of May. If you're into that, look it up if you are curious about it. But there is something here, and I can't get into it because I don't know. But there is something about moon cycles right now, or something about timing through the moon cycles. I don't know, something about cycles and moons, and that's important as well. But I can't articulate it because I don't really know what's going on astrologically right now. I have not been studying. I'm a bad student. So yeah, that's that. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Put it down and pick it back up. They always give me something when I guess I need to accept, like, that's how sometimes I need to, like, put a period behind a thought, put the card down, and then they give me a new thought. I think I should just embrace it. Now, the other thing that they just put into my head, because again, I said Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, so there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Literally, for some of you, there's no place like home. So there's a concern about your space, your safe space, your quiet space, the place where you rest your head at night. There's an emphasis on home. So again, roommate situation, or, you know, how your work life is bleeding into your home life, and there's like a discrepancy here. There's like too much of an overlap. So a lot of you want to have your home be the thing you return to, the thing that when you go there, you can rest easy. But for now, it's a little disturbed. For now, your home is not feeling super comfortable, or when you can finally not finally, but having a restful sleep, having a weekend, a total weekend where you're just doing what you want. You're not thinking about work. You're not thinking about this or that or the other. And you're not, you know, hammer wielding Pisces. You're just regular Pisces. Something about that being tied to the home is super important for you guys, okay? Now, your overall energy for the month of May, the Chariot, Major Arcana card for Cancer. So you know the deal. Don't have to have one in your life. Let's get going, man. You're on to new horizons. You're on to new destinations. Some of you, after this whole debacle, after all this stress and rigor that you're dealing with, you're going to go on vacation. You know, especially for those where, I think I'm going to sneeze. I did. Okay, I sneezed, sorry. Anyway, for those of you where you're teachers, school's out for the summer, and maybe you're not teaching over the summer, so you take a vacation. Good for you. You deserve it. Go for it. Have fun. For others, it is just after this whole crap-tastic show is finished. Maybe you move, you know, not really getting moved, but you spend significant time away for a little bit. Again, a vacation, but like for some reason, vacation isn't for everybody. Maybe that's it. Like maybe you don't go on vacation. Okay, there you go. Like the roommate situation. Like you live with your roommate, but you have family in your town, so you can like go stay at your mom's house. So it's like your real home is with your roommate because you've actually moved out of your parents' house. But some of you might get respite and rejuvenation by going not on a true vacation because it's just to your mom's house, but you take time away to get revitalized, you know. Additionally, new horizons, new pathways, yeah? So you stepping up and putting your foot down with your roommate, that sets a whole new stage for you and your roommate. They'll never eat your ramen soup again, okay? You did it. You put the boot in, they listened, they apologized, they bought you a whole new package of ramen noodles. You guys are cool. You will patch it up. At the workplace, Barbara will get over herself. She's gonna, well, I can't tell you what Barbara's gonna do, but whoever, they, for the moment, make peace with you. They stay on their P's and Q's. You get to be, known as the take no prisoners, supervisor for a little while. Then you kind of, things like get back to a sense of normalcy and calm and smooth sailing out into the vista. You know what I mean? Because the traditional depiction of this is a white horse and a black horse, or sphinxes or whatever. And the idea for the charioteer or the driver of the chariot is to get these two opposing forces to work together to move in one unified direction, right? So there's a little bit of a calamity before the journey begins. So that's all this shit right here. That's the calamity. You get things settled. Everybody gets to be on the same page. Everybody unifies. We all agree. And then we coast forward. Pretty good reading, Pisces. It's going to be difficult for you because you don't like to be the bad guy. But there's no bad guy, there's no bad cop around. So you got to step into those shoes. So I hope you liked it. If you did, there's a like button down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. You can also comment on the video. Let me know how this resonated in your life. I love to read that stuff. You can also share this video across your social media platforms for me. And of course, subscribe if you're not subscribed. It's a low-level commitment, my friends. It's just a one-time click. I pop up in your notifications, twice a month? Maybe 3 times a month? I don't come into the notifications daily. That's for sure. But anyway, so if you want to do any and all of those things, I would appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. I've seen tremendous growth over the last month and a half. Like, it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit. So I want to see that progress continue. So if you want to help me out, you can do any and all of those things I just mentioned to you, okay? Pisces, I will be back in about a week and a half or so doing the mid-May readings. And after that, I'll be back with the June. Maybe I'll do a random. I'm waiting to be inspired. The first time I did a random, I was totally inspired, and that's kind of how I want to keep it. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for it to hit me. So maybe I'll have that for you at some point. Who knows? All right, Pisces, I thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Bye.